What's up, friends and frenemies? It's Walker with DIWHY.LIFE, and in today's episode we are going to take a tour of my 2017 Honda Clarity EV. Alright, so we get inside and take a look around. This is what the inside looks like. It's got really nice looking dash. It's got a media surface there. It's got leather seats. It's got a lot of nice features in it. This is my second Honda electric vehicle, and the last one was a Fit EV, and it was quite a bit different. It was very economy, totally different mindset. This, however, is more of a touring or high-end, you know, kind of luxury type experience. Here's what the engine looks like. I can see that I think there's a radiator here, so there is some fluids still, but obviously no like motor oil that needs to be changed out or stuff like that. I don't know, there's a lot of space in there. Like you could like hang out in there. Pretty neat. There's the inside of the back seat. My son likes that there's a power outlet right there, and he's got a little cup holder there. The back seats do flap down. Here's inside the trunk. It's a very spacious trunk. I get a lot of stuff in here. I usually have soccer gear, goals, skateboards, pads, all kinds of stuff in here, but I cleared it out. So now I only have the shopping bags and a beach blanket. But if you pull these two levers, the back seats just fold down like this. Like that. And so you can put like longer things in the car, like wood, you know, 2x4s, you know, whatever. I have put some long stuff in here, but it does have this weird opening here, and it limits the width of things that you can put in here. You can't put, you know, like a sheet of plywood or anything. It's just not going to fit. But oh, one cool thing I discovered right here, there's a air pump. It's like a freebie air pump right there. And under here, this is the 110 charger that it comes with. This bad boy plugs right into the wall, and you can charge the car from a standard power outlet. It does take quite a long time to charge on just the standard outlet. So if you are going to get an EV, I would highly recommend getting a 220 charger installed in your garage, because it can take 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours to charge to full on a 110. And on a 220, I can probably do it in about 2. All right, let's turn some air conditioning on. So cool down in here. All right, the car gets 90 miles on a single charge, and I think it's pretty accurate. There's 2 driving modes, and they're located over here. There's economy and sport. I keep mine in economy just because I'm economical, but if you wanted to have, good torque and good takeoff, acceleration, then you could put it in sport mode, but I think your range diminishes probably down to like 60 miles. I would say it at least takes 30 miles off your range by driving in sport mode. The car does have a nice multimedia screen for interacting with the car. You can plug your iPhone into it, and it's got this thing called CarPlay, which is really nice. And you basically have all of your apps here on the, not all of them, but just some of the apps that are on your phone available with the CarPlay system. You can read your text messages and play your voicemails, make phone calls. You can play Spotify, listen to podcasts, stuff like that. Let's see, what else? Here's the home button. Instead of like a knob down here, it uses this push button system for the drive system. You got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then this is the e-brake right here. It's a pretty fancy vehicle. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. It drives really smooth. It's like a touring type vehicle, I think. It's got all the cameras. It's got a camera over there on the side mirror, and if I hit this button, boop, see, it shows up there. It's like a blind spot camera. It's kind of cool. It automatically comes on when I turn right. It also has the lane departure avoidance system, which I don't really use. It basically will steer and keep you in your lane. The cruise control is really good. It has this feature where it can stay, you can set it to stay, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet behind the car in front of you. And if the car in front of you slows down, this car will slow down. And if it stops, your car will stop. It's pretty cool. It's actually, I really like to use it in rush hour traffic, where you're doing a lot of stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, because you don't have to pay such close attention to stopping and going and stopping and going and stopping and going. You just set it to follow 10 feet behind the car, and you just let it. That was actually the brake system just came on and was telling me to brake. If you get a little close to somebody or something, that little warning pops up, and if you're actually going to hit something, or it thinks you're falling asleep or not paying attention, it'll actually start applying the brakes too. And it's happened to me a few times. It's got good AC. It's got another AC control here for the back seat, which is kind of nice. It's got heated seats. It's got settings for the seat position, and they're tied to the 2 different key fobs that come with the vehicle. So as soon as I get in, it goes to my setting. As soon as my wife gets in, it goes to her setting. There's no key. It's push button ignition. I will say that one thing that makes this car really worthwhile is that HOV sticker on the back bumper. I mean, just the ability to drive in the HOV lane in California is huge, especially during really bad traffic. I mean, the HOV lane fills up with people who aren't carpooling, but it's really nice to have that. I mean, that alone makes it worth getting an EV, in my opinion. Yeah, so we can actually test this out. Let's turn on. So I got cruise control set, and I have a distance set for the vehicle. So he's braking, so I just slowed down, and I'm not doing anything. And if I were to turn this on, I now have lane assist, keeping me in my lane. So in theory, right now, the car is completely driving itself, stopping, going, keeping me in the lane. If I really wanted to, I could be like flipping Facebook and doing all kinds of stuff, and every once in a while you'll see that if your hands are off the wheel too long, it'll yell at you to put your hands back on the wheel. So it's not fully self-driving, but it's pretty neat. It's got a little sunglass holder thing there, which I like. Just the interior is really nice. Some interesting materials they decided to use inside. This is like a weird, like cubby space down here. There's USB ports down here for your phones to plug into. It's got a pretty big storage console here and glove box. The seats are perforated leather, and they're like a light gray. They're really nice. Here you can see the remaining charge on the vehicle. I'm about 75%. Let's see when you accelerate, the blue meter goes up. That's power usage, and then when you brake or decelerate, it goes into the green area which indicates charging. Now, if the car comes to a complete stop, it will go into a brake mode, and it'll say stopped right there, which actually means that I have to manually hit the gas at this point. But if you don't come to a complete stop for a few seconds, then it will just keep stop going, stop going, stop going. Aside from economy mode, which kind of slows, it kind of makes the vehicle drive kind of sluggish, kind of slows everything down. You hit the gas, it doesn't quite accelerate super fast. It kind of takes its time. But in addition to that, if you need to, really drive super efficiently, it also has a battery. You can actually engage the energy reclamation system on the brakes with these paddles behind the steering wheel here. So you hit the minus paddle to basically slow yourself down, and as soon as you hit the minus paddle, you'll see an arrow come up and you'll see it start to go down into charge mode, and that's basically using the reclamation. So I just turned it on, and there's like 4 different levels of reclamation, of energy acquisition, and then you hit the right side and then it comes off. So if you're going downhill and you don't really need to accelerate and you want to grab back some energy, hit the left paddle a couple times and it'll engage the generator, and it'll actually give you back a mile or 2 down a good sized hill, which is pretty nice. Like right now, let's turn that guy on. We're at 65. Let's see if we can get to 66. Yeah, 66. Turn it off. So we're here at my local grocery store, and there's one thing I wanted to show you really quick. It's pretty cool. They just installed these charging stations right here in the parking lot. And they're for EV only. You get a 2-hour limit. But the best part is they are totally free. They dole out 220 volts of electricity at no charge whatsoever. So the green light came on, thing is charging. Yeah, I can sit here and charge up while I shop. Thing is called Volta. So a question I get a lot about owning an electric vehicle is, so you're not buying gas anymore, but now you have to charge it at home with electricity. So how much more is your electric bill now that you're charging an electric vehicle? Well, I will tell you that when I had a gas car, I was probably putting between $50 and $75 a month in gas. It was a couple years ago. Gas was over $5 a gallon. I was filling it almost twice a month. And with the electric vehicle, I plug in every night. And our electric bill has probably gone up about between $40 and $60 a month. So there's a little bit of savings there. But we are driving our other vehicle much less, so we're putting less gas into that vehicle too. So I think when it all works out, it costs about half as much. I'd say about half as much to drive an electric vehicle versus a gas vehicle on average. So if you're thinking about getting an EV, I highly recommend it. I'm never going back to gas. I love the vehicle. I love the idea. I love the concept, the technology. Now, if I can just figure out a way to get solar on my rooftop, then I would be set. Until then, as long as you have another vehicle in your household that's gas, that allows you to go far distances, traveling and stuff like that on road trips, an electric vehicle is a fantastic choice for a daily driver for most people, most families. Another interesting thing about this clarity is, electric cars are so quiet when they drive that I've heard of people like hitting people in parking lots and surprising people. They're just so quiet. So this clarity actually emits a sound. I believe when it's going like slow speeds under 15-20 miles an hour, it makes kind of this weird sound. So I'm going to try and get an audio clip of the engine sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mic. I'm going to put it here in the engine compartment somewhere. Let's hook it on right there. All right, I'm going to back up now and we'll see if I can get this sound from the engine. One last thing I'll talk about before I go is one really cool thing about this car, and it's kind of silly, but it's these daytime running lights. These things are so cool. I mean, look at them. I don't know what Honda designer came up with that, but man, kudos. It just looks so neat. And those run while the car is on pretty much all the time. Yeah, so cool. And that pretty much does it for this episode of DIY.LIFE. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you got any questions about the Honda Clarity you want to ask, be happy to answer them. Just put them in the comments below.
subscribe to the channel, and catch you later.